えをお聞かせください。
はい、まず、本日午前中、昼前ですが、奈良県において安倍晋三元総理が銃撃をされ、そして今現在、深刻な状況にあると聞いております。今、懸命の救急措置が行われていると承知をしています。まずは安倍元総理がなんとか一命を取り留めていただくよう、心から祈りたいと思っています。今回の犯行の背景については、まだ十分把握できてはおりませんが、いずれにせよ、民主主義の根幹である選挙が行われている中で起きた卑劣な蛮行であり、決して許すことはできないと思っています。最大限の厳しい言葉で非難をいたします。政府としては今後あらゆる事態を想定し対応できるよう万全の対応をしていきたいと思っています。今懸命の救命措置が行われている最中ですので、ご質問の今後の政局に与える影響等は今触れるべきではないと思いますし、私自身もそうしたことを考えてはおりません。まずはこの現実の厳しい状況に対して、救命措置等がしっかりと行われる、政府としてはあらゆる事態に対応できる万全の措置を用意をする、これが大事であると思っています。
2問目、お願いします。
はい、
本日の対応で決まっていることがあれば教えてください。また、自民党総裁として閣僚を帰郷させましたが、はい、今後の選挙戦についてどう対応するお考えかお聞かせください。
はい、今後ですが、まずこの後、閣僚をすべて帰郷させたいと思います。閣僚を集めて、今回の事態について認識、そして政府としての対応、これを共有し、そして確認をする、これを行いたいと思っています。そして今後の選挙等の日程については今何も
So your question pertaining to the impact to the political situation, I believe it is not appropriate for me to address such a thing at this moment. I personally am not currently thinking about the political impact. I am currently looking at this very tough situation, and I'm hoping that everybody's doing everything they can to save Mr. Abe, and the government will do everything we can to be well prepared for any possible scenario. I think that's most important. This is the second question. I think that's already decided for today's response you are going to be taking. You are returning your cabinet members, but what are your future course in the campaign? Well, from now on, we will have the cabinet members. They will all return to Tokyo. So once the cabinet members have convened, we will look at this incident, the current situation. We would share the information as well as the responses as the government and confirm everyone's role. Furthermore, in the elections and the schedules, there are no decisions made at this moment. But first, we have to have a good hold on what the reality is of now and take necessary responses. That's it.
So this is from NHK. After the cabinet members convened, what are you going to do? Well, first of all, we'll grasp the latest information, and as a government, we'll come up with what we should do. So first, we'll understand every situation, and then get cabinet members have a role to play. So according to the situation, we'll play out all the responsibilities. And first of all, everyone has to confirm the information and share the latest information, and government would come up with an adequate response to answer to every situation possible. I'm Kanehira. So this is a very shocking incident beyond words. So Prime Minister or the former Prime Minister was attacked and had fell down. This cannot be tolerated. And we remember the incidents after the war related situations. So there are some concerns coming out. Like just before the war, and with this social situation, as a prime minister and as one individual, what do you have to say? Well, this incident, we have to understand about the suspects and the backgrounds, but we do not have the full information available. So we'll have to look into the police investigation, confirm every information available. So the question, so the social trend maybe have been changing, or speaking about this incident particularly, we do not have the full information, so I cannot give out the comments on that point as of now. So first we'll have to understand the background. That is very important. So what about the security situation? So he was the former prime minister. I think there were full security system in place. So do you have any comments on that? Well, of course, as for the security, people were doing their best. But we are now reviewing the situation on site, and that is also an important thing to understand. And another point. So this is a barbaric, malicious act that cannot be tolerated. And this is just 2 days before the election outcomes would come out. So in order to protect democracy, this incident had happened. So what do you want to comment on this? Well, as for that, I just told that this is the foundation of democracy, the election, but this barbaric act had actually taken place. So Japan, as a democratic nation, as a member of this great nation, many people of Japan has the same feeling with me that this cannot be totally tolerated.
And I would like to use the strongest words to criticize such an act. And that is what I intended to convey at this time.
Prime Minister saying that Shinzo Abe remains critical at this point, and that the medics are trying to save Abe, and still they're trying. The Japan government is trying to get more facts on the motive behind this attack.
He was evidently sniffing as he talked to the news media. On the medical condition of former Prime Minister Abe, Prime Minister Kishida said that he is now in a critical condition. As we report, seems that Prime Minister Abe, former Prime Minister Abe, is in a critical condition with maximum medical attention possible. He also prayed for the survival by former Prime Minister Abe. And that was the statement at the very outset. With regard to the background factors, he admitted that the background factor is not fully known as at this point, but this was an action that shakes the bastion of a democratic process, and he also said that he would use the strongest words possible to criticize such a barbaric act. On the impact of political affairs in this country, he refrained from offering any answers by saying that it is not a time to make a comment on such a topic, because he wants to focus on offering the heartfelt prayer for former Prime Minister Abe's recovery. And he also mentioned about the actions to be taken by cabinet members. All cabinet members are now instructed to come back to Tokyo to discuss the situation with regard to the measures and steps to be taken going forward, and on the impact of the election process. He says that nothing is yet to be decided, and he said that it is imperative to understand the situation accurately first. Also, media news reporter also asked about the state of Secret Service and the security. He said that he wants to believe that the security was raised to the highest level when former Prime Minister Abe was making a speech. So what do you expect going forward? He mentioned that he cannot make any forecast.
But there's still a lot to be learned about the current situation. So he will continue to probably gather more information and decide on the government's response. Also, he said he is committed to having all possible cases analyzed to take the necessary responses. Let's go over Kishida's comments once again.
安倍元首相が街頭演説中に銃撃され、心肺停止との情報ですが、
about the former Prime Minister Abe being under cardiopulmonary arrest due to the shooting and the impact on the political situation. Prime Minister Kishida says this morning, just shortly before noon in Nara Prefecture, former Prime Minister Abe Shinzo had been shot and is currently in a very serious situation. In the critical situation, there are life-saving efforts being made by the doctors. I would like to first pray that Prime Minister Abe will survive this and that his life will be saved through this ordeal. This heinous act, we don't know the background or the intent behind all this, but in any case, election is the very foundation of democracy, and we were amid the election campaigning, and such a barbaric and malicious act took place. It could not be tolerated. I would like to use the harshest words available to condemn this act.